We've got a couple more folks in here that are going to maybe be pitching in on this. We've got Carly, who's our head trainer here at INFINii. So we're really excited about what we're going to show you guys tonight. And the one thing that we kind of want to start with, and that I'd love to actually bring out our COO to walk you through what he's been doing around the world, where he's came over and kind of touched the lives of a lot of people around the globe with INFINii. But before that, I really just want to open this up to our mission statement. I want you guys to take this in, and this is something that that we wanted to come out and say, look, you know, every company should be able to stand for something. Every company should be able to come out there and say, really quickly, this is what we do. This is what we stand for. And for us, that's to provide our INFINii family with the best e-commerce experience through the useful tools, training, and corporate resources in order to give them the best opportunity to grow their business and achieve financial independence. And I think that sums up what we're doing here. And one thing I'm really proud of is that we didn't say customers or anything like that. It's our family, because this is a family. So before we turn this over, I really want to get Mr. Hitesh Kevin out here, have him say a couple words, and we'll go through this. But this is real important to us, and I'd love you guys to snapshot this, toss this out there on social media, put it on your blog, let people know that this is what we stand for, is to help our family here at INFINii get massive results in their business. So Hitesh Kevin, my friend, I'd like to bring you out, say hi to everybody, let them know what you're doing, let them know what we got going on, and we'll start going through some of this stuff where we'll really introduce and show you guys just kind of a recap, a walk around the world on what we've done so far in the last 60 days.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Kevin. And very nice to be back on here. I've been kind of around the world myself. And really excited to see the number of people on here, by the way. It's awesome. And also just the breadth of where the people are coming from. And you know, I'm going to take a slightly different approach, maybe, and do something a little unconventional, which is the kind of stuff that people don't do in network marketing companies, and or in most companies, which is all companies try really hard to only talk about everything that's good, and they try really hard to not be real, almost, right? And I want to make sure that we've always tried to set the standard of transparency, of doing things the right way, where our focus is with the average user. And there have been a few things that we have noticed ourselves, which even our own goals, we look at this and go, you know what, here are some pieces in the company that really don't jive with what we're trying to do, right? They really don't match up to what our core philosophy is. We've always talked about and always wanted to create, and have actually pretty successfully created so far over the last 5-6 years, things where the average person can succeed through their own effort, can do well, where they don't have to participate in that endless loop of recruiting and so on. But if they want to, they have a clear pathway, they have a successful pathway, and they can get to profits very quickly. And there are things that we have looked at within INFINii that we have gone, you know what, there are some issues here. There are some things that are not as great as they could be, or some things that are holding us back. And most of the time, the way that companies or entrepreneurs approach this is very simple. They say, hey, let me focus on what's good, and we'll do more of that, and let me not try to solve any issues on the other sides. So I'll give you guys one example. One of the things that we have noticed is that there is this difficulty for the rest of the world to participate in e-commerce in the same way that a lot of the people in the US do. So we set out to try and address that. We've done that in many different ways. We also set out and we looked at the fact that even our compensation plan, because our intention was and our desire was to create something really beautiful with infinite depth and amazing team building things and so on, and yet there are pieces to it that really don't work out quite as well as we want them to. So one of the blessings that we have is that we create our own stuff, we design our own stuff, we have math done internally, and we decide to make changes ourselves, right? And we can actually create those changes. We don't have to depend on some massive third-party bureaucracies in many cases. So we've actually taken it upon ourselves to say, you know what, there are these issues, and let's actually fix them. Let's fix them, and let's make them much stronger. So that's the negative and what we're doing about it. And you're going to see that throughout this entire presentation. We are just very different. If you're new to INFINii, this is a very different company and a very different community. This is all about us coming together and solving issues and making everybody more successful than usual. And so here's one number that I'm going to give you guys very quickly. So if you look out there, we are a big target, we're a big name. And a lot of people will be like, oh, if you want to join INFINii, I know, join me instead, pay me money instead, and so on. And that's fine. Okay, that's all good. That's okay. We have no problems with that. But what often gets left out is what's the actual success rate of our members right now. Okay, so literally while Kevin was speaking, I was in our database pulling up our number of what are the sales done on eBay alone by our members who are using our research and listing system right now. Okay, that's it. Just the people who are using the research and listing system, who are listing on eBay, just that number alone is currently at $6,972,936. Okay, and 32 cents. Let's not leave out the 32 cents. That's important. In some places of the world, that's your day's meal, right? So that's what that one tiny subset of INFINii users has been doing in the past 4 months. Okay, this is just over the past 4 months. If you look at our total sales, actually, our users have done over 4 million individual orders over the last 5 months. Okay, again, nothing out there even comes close to these numbers. Okay, nothing compares to these numbers. And a big reason for that is the tremendous and amazing staff that we have on board and this amazing community that we have here, where people are helping each other and they're helping through all of that process. And by the way, one of the great things about this is one of the reasons we built this entire platform was to be able to track things in more detail. So one of the things we can track is the profit margins, right? So our profit margin right now, the average profit margin on this $7 million almost in sales was just over 11.8%. Okay, so there are some people with very significant profit margins, some people on smaller profit margins. This is just drop shipping. There are people selling their own products. There are people doing different things. Some people are making a lot more profit than that. So you have all sorts of spectrum there. But that means a few $100,000, over $1 million almost, was generated in profits by our members just from that one subset, right? eBay people using just this one tool. At the same time, we have so many people doing just incredible things. I was going to pull up more statistics, but Kevin got done speaking fairly quickly. So there is incredible stuff happening, okay? Incredible stuff happening. And we have the choice, right? This is the challenge that you have. Lesser people would say, and I shouldn't really call them lesser people, but people with a different focus would say, hey, people are doing great. Let's turn this into our story. Let's make this the only story and just talk about it and hype it and you know, run our company around that. And we said instead, you know, we should really look at how can we expand this much more? How could we get our people to $6 billion instead of 6 million, right? So that's our goal. That's the way that we think about this. And that's really the big difference between INFINii and the leadership that we have here and our corporate staff here versus other places. So one major thing that we came across is giving people the ability within their own countries and within their own language parameters and within their own networks to have the ability to create and run their e-commerce businesses where they don't have to worry about what items do I sell, where do I get those items from from a discount, how do I make sure that my market is actually served with this, and all of those things. So in our pursuit for that, one of the things we did is we sent off our COO, Brian Barzik, all over the world. He went to Europe, we sent him to Asia, we went over all of these places, and I would like to have him talk a little bit about it and he can walk you through what he saw, what people said, what were their challenges, and then we can walk you guys through what we have actually been doing. And I'm pretty excited about showing you some of these pretty neat, wonderful updates. So Brian, if you would like to talk a little bit about what you have done, that would be pretty good.
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. And Brian, just 1 second before you continue, I want to make one very quick point. So as Brian is going to be going through all of this stuff, there will be many questions that might come to your mind and many ideas that might come to your mind. Feel free to stick them in the chat box. Okay, we actually are monitoring it. We answer every single thing that we'll see on there. But most importantly, hold until he's done and hold until one of us is done with the part that we're talking about. That way we can actually address questions much better. Okay, I don't want anything lost because we literally get 100 to 200 comments every single minute or so. So Brian, please go ahead and walk us through what you saw and what you're excited about, maybe a little bit of your background as well.
Sure, thank you, Hitesh. My name is Brian Barzik. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of INFINii. I've been in this business in network marketing for about 15 years now. Hold on with the next slide, please. And I can tell you, I've been traveling all over the world for my entire career, and there's certain things that seem to be consistent between every single country you go to, and that is the people. And I had the opportunity to sit through, as I'm going to expand a little bit more on the EU and the countries I visited. I first want to point out that I had the opportunity to sit through some presentations by Nikki and Parrish and Jacob in the U.S. and Dallas, and there's some pictures here from some of our events that we had held, the EEC events, and they are a tremendous value. We had a great opportunity. They're great training, so I know more and more of these are going to be posted. I would encourage you to find one of these locations, and we have a big one coming up in Orange County, California. But the content is fantastic. The material that's presented there is awesome, and people get a lot of value out of it. So in fact, the one I attended in Dallas, we actually had some international members attend that, and out of that event in Dallas really spawned off a whole nother country that we had just introduced INFINii to. So I definitely encourage you to get out there. Next slide, please. So there is a gentleman on the phone listening to this webinar who is in Greece right now. I think it's 4 a.m. His name is Vasilios Papachar-Lampous. He is pictured fourth to the left in the sunglasses. Bill is, if you don't know him, he is our EU product expert. He has been very successful both as a person contributing on e-commerce. Now we've brought him onto the corporate team, and he's helping to spread the word over to many countries that we had visited to. This is Sofia, Bulgaria, and I tell you, the word family, if some of you have seen my presentation before, I always talk about the people, the product, and the opportunity. The people then were primarily consisted of the customers and the partners that were participating. Out of this trip, we've changed that mission statement to include the INFINii family. All of these people here that you see have had tremendous success within e-commerce using INFINii tools and training. And a lot of these people actually were able to quit their jobs and go to INFINii full time. And just a tremendous group of people. We spent a few hours after we went through all the training exercises on getting to know each other, getting a tour of the city, and it was a beautiful time. Next slide, please. This is in Athens. I think as Athens in Greece is one of the oldest in historical culture, Athens and the people there have been with us since the beginning. Lots and lots of testimonials that came out of this conference, people that were, you know, and it's no mystery that Greece is not one of the biggest, strongest economies out there, but yet these people are making six figures and having tremendous success doing drop shipping and using our tools and techniques on Prime Surge and Excel. And it was very encouraging to see what these people have been able to achieve over the last year or two working with our products. And they were just very proud. They were very confident, and they were very driven in terms of where exactly they're going to go with the next stages as we introduced them to some of the things you're going to hear today. Next slide, please. Now, this is our group in Poland. As we were traveling from country to country, actually 6 countries in about 3.5 weeks, we had about 9 minutes to get ready for this. The reception from the Polish team was unbelievable. The positivity and the electricity in the air, as you saw hundreds of people show up for this event, was pretty amazing. And they are just getting started, but already have had some success. We've got some people that have been working on the training and the tools and so forth. We're getting things translated for them. We have a very defined, committed plan for the Polish team, and they're very excited, very encouraged, and something that I definitely took a note of because of the efforts and the mentality that they have towards their approach and their work ethic. Next slide, please. From Poland, we moved on to Hamburg, and obviously the biggest market. They have an eBay, they have an Amazon, they have some of the the tools that are required in order to get started with the e-commerce market right away. Very encouraged. As you can see here, a lot of these people that you see in this picture, and this is just a small group that we got to take a picture of, they traveled from 4 to 6 hours all over the place, and these individuals were leaders in organizations that have been successful. As Germany is predominantly known, network marketing is big over there. E-commerce is getting to be bigger over there, and we had some great leaders there, great success, and another country that we're just getting started on, but again, the future is very bright for them. Next slide. We moved on from Hamburg, Germany, and went to Barcelona. And in Barcelona, there's two people I definitely have to make sure that we take notice of, and they're the good-looking couple, Michael and Marion. I'm sure most people know them, but without them, it would be difficult for us to even put a slide up and discuss this. Their tremendous experience, knowledge, and just their expertise in the e-commerce community was very well received. The one thing that you definitely have to understand is the way they approach the Spanish and the Latin American market, and we're just getting started with Mexico and Colombia and some of the other countries down in Central South America. There's definitely a way to do that, and I've been traveling to Central and South America for over 10 years, and it was awesome to see Michael and Marion on stage and doing presentations and interacting with the people. It was obviously one of our newest markets, but certainly one that has huge potential because of the family atmosphere. We had an excellent time. It was a great venue, and it was just one of these things where I know the future is going to be very bright for not only the Spanish market, but as we are having discussions now with Mexico, Colombia, and South America, those are also going to be just as big. Next slide, please. We ended up from Barcelona and took a very small flight over to Seoul, South Korea. And it was in Seoul, South Korea that we had met a number of people, and you can scroll these every few seconds because I do have a couple of pictures here. Obviously, Korea is one of the biggest markets when it comes to network marketing. We have met a number of people that were very hospitable, very genuine, and the reception that Kevin and I and Bill Vasilios were welcomed to was one of the most humbling experiences that I've ever been through in network marketing. You know, this is a people business. It's all about the people, and that's why I think, you know, might be a small two-word change from customers and partners in our mission statement to family, but that's exactly what the outcome was of not only our EU tour but Asia tour, and as we work with the people in the US and continue that stronghold of a market we have, it really is the people that make the difference, and it was just such a humbling experience over the last month to go through that and meet with everybody, and I'm very excited to show you these pictures and share with you the experiences. And I'm going to probably turn it back over to Hitesh, who's going to talk about some of our product enhancements and so forth. But I just want to say it was a privilege to meet everybody. It was a great experience, and I just knew out of that we got to make sure that we do the best work we can for the people that we met, because the future is very bright. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian, for that very nice tour through everything. Guys, so one big reason for walking through this a little bit and showing you guys what's been going on in the background, a big reason for doing that is for you to understand that we have a very, very big global approach. So we have webinars, and many people don't realize this, we have webinars and trainings every week in multiple languages happening around the clock for all the different time zones. So I do want to make sure that you guys are aware of that, and if you haven't yet, you can actually go in your back office and set up your own preferences for your language that you want to receive emails in, language that you want to see the trainings in, and so on. So I'm going to make myself the presenter for a moment, just so I can show this a little bit. So please confirm if you can see my screen. So when you log in, you'll be able to go to this account settings page and essentially set your language there. Okay, but I want to walk through a bunch of the updates and upgrades that have actually happened in our system over the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And many of those things we haven't made a big deal about. We haven't talked about them in a big way because we have also been working at the same time towards this overarching, massive update. So let's walk through some of the things that we have done. Hopefully, when you logged in today, you noticed that the layout has changed a little bit. The left side, the menu has changed a bit, and you will now notice that everything is divided between training and tools right here. So you don't have to go much deeper to figure out what's actually back there. So for example, if you're a Prime user, you can go to Prime and you will go through all of the training that is available for a Prime user. If you went to, of course, you would have to be somebody who's at that level. And in our tools, you will see that we have added a bunch more tools that you can actually use in here. And I'll actually have Carly walk through a little bit of this. So Carly, if you're on here, if I can have you come out and walk through some of the things we've added.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, and I'm going to switch to the PowerPoint. Give me just a second.
Okay.
Alrighty, so please go ahead.
Okay, do you want to go to the right slide for me?
Mm-hmm.
Please, there you go. Okay, so we have made numerous updates to the training in Prime. As you will notice when you log into your back office, there are a lot more videos in the eBay training, along with translated videos, which we are working on daily. We currently have Spanish, Polish, and German. You will see the smaller thumbnails below the videos. We have the tools that I have been working flawlessly, I have to admit, the Advanced Listing Creator for eBay, the Bonanza Lister, product research, and of course connecting your Amazon account so you can see the activity in your Amazon account directly from the back office. We have also added international strategies along with showing our international users how to actually use US-based suppliers and see US type ads to directly from the back office. Use the training as well. We have also added international strategies.
So just one second before you move on, I want to take a second to explain what this actually means for the users, because Carly is not just modest, but she's also not a marketer. And one of the things that the non-marketer does is that you focus on the features. So it's great that we have this stuff, but what's more important is what does it actually do for you guys, right? So the first to understand is that we've actually gone through, we're constantly updating our videos, but it's a live process. There are things that are constantly changing out there, so we're changing our training to accommodate those things as well. But one major thing that we've done is we've actually added some background upgrades into our tools and into our training that often goes unseen. But there's one little change that we made about 6 weeks ago, as an example, where the amount of views that we generate on each listing created by the Advanced Listing Creator, we increased how many views are generated there. Okay, and we also made a little change about 8 weeks ago. And again, we didn't mention a whole lot about this because it's very important that we collect the data first. 8 weeks ago, we had a little change that we made in our title builder. We actually switched, and Carly probably remembers this, we switched the way that we gave our title suggestions and the sources for it. And the result has been that not only do you get much better, accurate, targeted titles that our system suggests, you actually are seeing significantly better rankings in the system as well. In fact, people, if you are listing and selling items that are being sold with a quantity, right, which are items that are good till a certain time period, like you are actually selling a number of items listing instead of just for a 30-day, it's a good till cancel listing, you'll find that those are actually ranking very, very well compared to about 4 months ago when we were not making some of these things happen. So that's why the amount of sales coming in through eBay in the last 6 weeks are actually very, very strong compared to what they were in the first 2 weeks or the first 3 weeks of listing. And goes without saying, stronger than anything else out there. Another big reason for providing these tools at the Prime level is there are many people who actually outsource this activity, right? So you might be somebody who hires maybe your child to do this. We have many people who have their 12, 13-year-olds doing this. we actually found a family that had their 6-year-old that they were training on scanning and selling with Amazon. So there are many cases where you have people that you might have hired. You might have virtual assistants hired, or you might have somebody that locally works for you at the same time. What this does is it keeps your accounts safe as well. Instead of giving them access to your main account, you give them access to your INFINii account. So they can go and do the research, create the listings, track all the activities, see what's sold and not sold, but you don't actually have to risk sharing your account details with somebody. So to this end, we're actually going to be releasing a few other things as we go forward that will get to that complete freedom point where somebody can log into your INFINii account and manage your business entirely. So there are some things that we're working on that side as well, and suggestions are always welcome. But these are some of the things that you're able to do now in the background. So if you've been making listings externally, you'll be doing that one at a time, or you're just following the training, you should really be looking to graduate to ebay.com and start selling with the advanced listing creator as quickly as possible, because the results there are really, really strong. The other thing that's very important, this is literally the first question that comes out of anybody's mouth: how do I find profitable things to sell? Right? That's one of the big things that comes out many, many times. So we have this really, really cool research system that actually is very useful. I hope you guys are using it. Actually, if you're using the research system right now, can you just make a comment that yes, you're using it? Beautiful. So I see Tanya is using it, and many other people, Laura and Roderick and Keith and so on. So that's awesome. Now, one big thing that we are trying to do in this regard is we had a long discussion with Nikki and Barish as well about this. And one question that often comes up is, how about we did some research and gave people items that they could know are going to be profitable for them to list and sell on Amazon or eBay? So we found, very interestingly, we found actually cases where people were using our research tools to compile lists of items that would sell profitably and then selling them to INFINii members and other people doing e-commerce and so on. We found that very interesting, but it also showed us something very good. It showed us that there are people out there who would really like it to be even easier, that you would just like to get lists of items. So we're actually going to be adding, starting this month, starting the month of June, this is our last month as May, starting the month of June, we will actually also be including a list every month. We will give you a new list of items that we have researched that are selling, that are good to sell on Amazon, that are good to sell on eBay. We include the source, we include the price margin, and so on. So you guys can actually have those lists for you internally as well, which again is a massive thing, because you can take that list, give it to somebody who's running your account, and tell them, hey, just log into my INFINii account, go make these listings, or go log in and manage these listings on my Amazon account or my Bonanza account, and so on. So it's a very clean system. It really keeps your account safe. It gets you a lot more sales. It gets you a lot more profits, because one of our big emphasis is finding lists of products that have good profits on them. And the reason why we refresh them every month is because you need them. You need new ones every month, because people get on them and they very quickly become not so profitable if there are people competing on them. So we're going to be putting that in there. And we obviously, depending on Prime, Surge, or Excel level, you're going to see the number of products and the type of products you see are going to be different. So hopefully that kind of explains a lot of the things we're doing. And so far, we are just talking about Prime. Okay, we are just talking about the $50 a month thing, which is really insane when you look at all that you have in here and the type of success that our members have compared to what we're actually charging for it. So moving on from that, next slide. Go ahead, Carly.
Very good explanation. Thank you, Hitesh.
You are very welcome.
Okay, on to Surge. We have added, now Surge has to be my favorite level. First, I'd like to discuss a tool that we have not actually talked too much about, and it actually will automate your social signals. We've discussed this on a few Saturday trainings about how powerful external traffic is to your eBay sales. Do we have an image of this by any chance? We do. There we go. Thank you. So for Surge and above, so Surge and Excel, you will actually see two social media buttons next to your listings. And the only thing you'll have to do once you have created the social media accounts, which we cover in the training, and you have connected them to the INFINii platform, the only thing you have to do is just click the button. So this particular strategy has increased many users' sales, and I wouldn't even try to guess on a percentage. But it definitely does increase.
Massive increase in sales. But
Yeah.
and Carly, again, let's not sell the short. There's something very important about this. If you are selling on Bonanza especially, okay, the power of this is so much stronger, especially through Bonanza, because those listings show up in the Google system. About 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago now, I actually wrote a guide on ranking in SEO on Google and stuff. And Carly has seen that guide. It's very interesting how a lot of this data, a lot of this information moves through platforms. So a lot of the algorithms that were being used by Google at the time, and they're still actually very relevant, have now transitioned into the, with the Cassini update that happened with eBay, with the A9 update with Amazon and so on. So there are all these different updates that keep rolling out, and they're really kind of mimicking each other, right? Because they all have the same goal: get closer and closer to how would a human interpret this. So there are some things that you can do with social signals that when you tie in with external traffic that you generate, which by the way I just mentioned the ALC does for you, and which by the way happens automatically when you create the listing, as well as when you are listing with the type of training that we give you on how to create the listing, what are the things you want to highlight in there, and so on. This is so strong because many times you will end up with listings, even your Amazon listings, if you do the same strategy with, will end up even ranking in Google. So you start drawing a lot of extra traffic to yourself, and that boosts your ranking within your Amazon search profile and so on. So there's this domino effect that has tremendous far-reaching consequences. So this is something that you guys really want to use. Even if you are not using it over here, you should be using at least the strategy in some way, shape, or form, because it's just so much more powerful. Now, I would recommend, from our internal experience, that you use this primarily for the products that you have the highest profit margins on, because those are the ones you really want to drive the sales for, right? So try to use these more for your highest profit margin items, and then go down from there. And also avoid using this for items that sell for less than $15 or so, because at less than $15, the volume doesn't really justify some of the power that you're going to lose, because you're going to lose some of the power of this gets diluted across all the listings that you have. So if you have 1,000 listings, you really want to prioritize the ones that have all the optimizations done already, that have the highest profit margin, and that are in your highest selling, the most active categories. And we can talk about that in a second. But this is a very powerful thing in here, and you guys are obviously getting access to this for free. You don't have to pay us extra for this. This is part of Surge in Excel, so use it. Go ahead, Carl.
Okay, so back to Surge. In the training, we have actually gone through how to create the specific social media accounts, along with using the social signals tools. We have also gone through how to do this manually if for some reason you do not want to use the tool. We have go through a lot more advanced eBay techniques. We talk about seasons and trends, how to maximize your keywords when you're building your titles. This is going to give you a lot more sales, daily sales from there. Besides the eBay Advanced, we have WooCommerce. WooCommerce is a WordPress thing where you can actually sell items from your own website. So we walk you through the exact setup process and how to utilize that as well. We have also updated the Shopify training to include a lot of detailed videos on exactly how to set up a Shopify account, how to create listings, ranking those listings. There's just so much content in Surge. We also have Amazon pay-per-click that you can use with your Amazon business. And we've already covered the tools. Next slide, please.
Hang on, I have to give my commentary on this.
I know.
Big point that you guys are missing here is let's go through a very simple math thing, okay? And I know that half the people who have not yet done business hate math, but I think everybody who's in business loves math because it tells you what to do. So it's a beautiful thing. So if you look at WooCommerce and Shopify, what is the reason for doing this? Especially WooCommerce, I actually like that a tiny bit more for many reasons, in part because you can target Google so beautifully with WooCommerce at the same time. Look at your profit margins there. Since you have almost no fees, so you can actually have products that you're selling at slightly lower price than your eBay account or your Amazon account even, yet you're making much more profits on them. And the other beautiful thing about that is it's an environment that you entirely control. When somebody's on eBay or somebody's on Amazon, their whole purpose that eBay and Amazon have is to try and sell this guy or this lady, actually it's mostly ladies, as much as possible, right? So they're going to show them all these different things that are very distracting them and so on. With WooCommerce, they're all within your environment. Your odds of losing people are actually much lower. And there's, again, lots of data that I can go through, and maybe we will later. I think right now we need to focus more on the updates. But you can make so much more money. So imagine that you were only making 20 sales a month at the average profit margin of let's say, $15, okay? So that's $300 that you're making in profit selling on eBay. Now imagine that your profit margin just went up by 20% because that's the difference in the fees at times, but let's say only just by 15% even. You're now suddenly making almost $100 more, maybe even more than $100. It basically just covers all of your costs, and that's only 20 sales a month, okay? That's very, very easy to hit, especially when you follow the training in there. And that's one of my only caveats here is you have to actually go through the content and internalize it, get on the training every week, and ask questions about it. And do your homework. You know, now the trainings, the master classes give you homework that you should be following. And if you do that, it's really, really difficult to not be profitable very quickly. So this is a very beautiful thing. Search is, in my opinion, and I think everybody's opinion who has used that level, kind of our flagship level. That's where you really want to be to get the best power out of everything.
And here's my favorite level. Okay, on to Excel. We have just completed finishing the Amazon branded training, and we have 41 videos, I believe, as of right now. We have made very detailed training that shows you step by step on how to create your own brand, sell on Amazon, rank your products very high on search results. There is a monster amount of content back there. That's really all I can say about Excel. Hitesh?
Sure, I can say a lot more about Excel, but
Yes,
I'll actually start. I'll start with an interesting thing. Like I said before, this is not your typical company. We're not the typical people, and our intention or our desire is not to like get as much money out of you as possible. So let me start by saying that Excel is a level that you go to excel. Okay, it's not the level that you go to get a start in life. Okay, or in e-commerce side. So if you're going to excel, be prepared to take some time and take some to expect to run this like a real business. Okay. Now, just like a real business, while you will have effort, your rewards will be significantly stronger. A lot of the people who are doing Prime right now, for example, or most people who get online to try and make money, they get online and their mindset is, let me see if I can do something online to make some money. You know, there's no real sense of purpose or real sense of what I'm actually going to do, right? And a lot of people at Prime are about in that stage. Then they start actually seeing the money being made, and they go, oh, this thing actually works. This is really interesting. And then they move to search, and they really start expanding their business. They get to a full-time income. And now when you get to search, when you go past search, when you get to Excel, you have to treat this like a real business. So you have to be a little bit more disciplined here. So don't get to Excel level. I know it's so much easier for me to just go like, guys, this is my favorite thing. You should be on Excel, everybody, every single one of you. And the reality is just not true. I think about 24 to 25%, maybe 27% of people on this call should be at Excel. Okay, I don't think more than that should be, because I think many of you have not yet really maximized what you can be doing with search. So that's where you should be. I think about 30% of people should be on Prime, about 30%, a little more than 30, maybe 35% should be on search. And the remainder, about 25% or so, 35% or so, should be at the Excel level. And that leaves some proportion, like let's say 7% or so of people, and obviously these are all approximate figures. About 7% or so of people left are the ones who should really be focusing on the final piece, which is recruitment or building a team and so on. We will address that in a few minutes as well. And I know that's so different and difficult to comprehend that one of the owners of a network marketing company would say, hey, here is what you should be focusing on, and actually only a third of you should be looking at paying the highest thing. All of those things. And the reason I'm saying that is because our intention, and Kevin's intention, maybe not Brian's, but I'm kidding, all of our intention is to make sure that you are more profitable, right? We have to make sure that you guys are profitable. That's what our company's business model is. So it's a completely different thing compared to what you might be used to. So hopefully one of the things we expect from you guys is that this is the same kind of, I don't know if you want to call it the same spirit or the same attitude that you go out with when you share INFINii as well, that it's the idea is to get other people profitable and help expand the entire ecosystem. Okay, so Carly, Kevin actually, do you want to go over the builder packs quick? Because these are very important for international market as well as for the builders.
All right, can you hear me? Am I coming through? Good.
Yeah.
The builder packs, yes, I want to go through these really quickly because I really want to get on to the compensation plan changes because I see a lot of people, I think that's what a lot of people are really looking for, so I want to move on to that, and we're already 47 minutes in. So basically what we're doing, guys, is giving you a way to get Prime, Surge, and Excel, especially this is really big for the overseas markets and a lot of folks that are looking to anchor into INFINii. So you're going to see us rolling out these builder packs at Prime, at Surge, and Excel, Prime 6, Prime 12, Surge 6, Surge 12, and so on, where people can pay for literally 6 months and then get a discount. For any of you, if you've ever purchased any items out there, obviously on if you go to Aweber and get their autoresponder service, or if you go to any company out there in the digital space, if you purchase 6 months at a time, you get a discount, right? We all kind of expect that. And so why don't we do that in our business model? So you're going to see us doing that and rolling out the builder packs where you can actually lock in at Prime and you're really getting a month for free. Or you can lock in at Surge and you're really getting a month for free. Or you can do Prime 12 or Surge 12 and get 2 months for free. So you're going to see these packs roll out very quickly. They're actually already done. So you guys are going to see this happening, and who here is actually interested in that? Just out of curiosity, let me hop on the chat and let me know, especially from the partner side of the house. Yeah, definitely. Look at that. Beautiful. See, I mean, why wouldn't we, right? This is a company that does things a little bit differently than everything else that's out there. And why stick to the same network marketing business model when we can move beyond that and offer you something that's already happening out there with multi-billion-dollar companies across the space? They do it for a reason, and the customers love it, and so we're doing it as well. So we're pretty cool. We're really excited about rolling this out to you guys, so you guys can go ahead and get a Prime 6 and save a month, or Prime 12 and save 2 months, or Surge, and so on and so forth. So pretty excited about this. And this is going to tie in a little bit to the compensation plan, which we're going to go over here.
Yes, right, absolutely. Thank you very much, Kev. And really stay around here because the next thing is all for you. So, guys, everything so far has been kind of a prelude to the fact that hopefully you understand everything that we're doing right now, the tremendous success our members are having, right? I mean, unprecedented. You literally cannot find a company right now out there, any company, including companies that we built, that has the same level of customer success that INFINii has. It just does not happen. Okay, and it's constantly improving. In like the last 6 weeks, the customer numbers are actually significantly stronger in terms of the sales they have done than the first 6 weeks. So it's something that's really, really awesome, and it's growing all the time. But it's time for us to really correct one major thing that we have seen as a problem. We have tried really hard to build a system and to build a structure that is very, very profitable and good for the average user. Now, there are two ways to do it. One of the ways to do it, unfortunately, also creates confusion, also creates complexity, creates a situation where it's difficult for the average person to understand what's actually going on. There is a subset of users that really love it, and we respect them for it, but there is a subset of users that simply cannot follow along with it. And that's kind of one of the things that was always said to us about our compensation plan. That, hey, it's a little bit complex. It's more complex than it maybe needs to be. So who here thinks that maybe if we could do something a little bit more aggressive to get you guys in profits even faster and get you to a very sustained profit level and encourage a behavior that does all the things we just said? Remember what we just said, that if you go out there and share INFINii with the concept of generating profits for others, of getting others to profitability, if that's the concept that we're able to encourage with the comp plan, who thinks that would be a good idea? Pretty much everyone. I don't think anybody would ever say no to that. So Kevin is going to walk you guys through what we have come up with, why we have come up with it, and what it's actually going to do for you guys. And it's way simpler than before, but it's way more powerful at the same time. And it is very unique. It is something in a way unheard of. So Kev, please go right ahead.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you go to the next slide, please? I was going to take the screen, but it's not really necessary. Show your screen again. You're paused. There you go. Okay, might be a lag on my side. And actually, I see your numbers are a little garbled up there, so I'm actually going to take the screen because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of screenshots from this. So let me grab it.
Okay. Ash just passed it to you, so you should have it.
Thank you. All right, can you guys see my screen? Let me know. Yes, beautiful. So this is going to be the new compensation plan. Right now, before I get into this, I just want to ask this question. Does anybody on this call understand the current compensation plan? Does anybody? Nope. Okay. If I see a yes, there's one. There's one. So we have.
No, that's Nicole. She's just lying.
Okay. So this is how easy it should be. Look, compensation plans are designed to do something. Really, they're just numbers on a piece of paper. Okay. That's what they are. Every compensation plan, X amount of dollars comes in, X amount of dollars go out. We happen to pay out pretty much double what other companies can afford because we don't have something called COGS. We don't have something called cost of goods to where we have to move a physical product. So we're lucky, right? We're lucky we can pay out more money in commissions. That's great. The question now becomes, how do we do that to get as many people as possible earning and take care of the leaders at the same time who are building massive organizations? And this has to be something that is instinctive, something that's easy for you to understand. So this right here, what you see, is the entire compensation plan. In the current one, there's several ways to earn, and none of them you understand. Let me explain this compensation plan. We'll see if we can get this, and see how excited you get here in the next 2 minutes as I walk through this, and watch how quickly and how easy it is to understand this. Number one, the first way to earn. When somebody joins, if they join at the $400 level Excel, we'll say, you get, no matter what level they come in at, your first month you get 25% of that item sold. 25%. So if they come in Excel, you just made $100. Easy, right? The current compensation plan, we're at what, 15? So we upped that. What do you guys think about that? Does that make sense? Getting more money on the front end when somebody joins. Look, I have a lot of people in INFINii Network right now that are working with me to grow an online business, and we have a job to make sure that they make as much money as possible when they promote and they build somebody in here, because they're spending money on advertising, and we want to make sure you guys get that money back when you're building money in your pocket faster, more money at the beginning of the compensation plan. That's the first way to earn. Who's excited about that enhancement? Who's excited about that, right? It's great, isn't it? I see everyone's going crazy. Beautiful. Step two, we have something called milestone bonuses, okay? And when you hit a manager per se, you get a couple people into the business, and we'll go over volume requirements. But a manager is nothing more than really you could do it with literally 2 people. So when you hit this manager level, you get a $50 milestone bonus. As you hit the next rank, you get a $100 bonus. As you hit the next rank, you get a $350 bonus. As you hit the next rank, you get a $500 bonus. Okay? And if I were to refer 3 people, I would be a manager. And I'd pretty much, if I were to refer 3 people, providing I hit the volume requirements, I would be a manager. I'd get $50. That's awesome. But if I had 3 of those, I'd hit regional. If I had 3 regionals, I'd hit national. If I had 3 nationals, I'd hit global. Easy. And there's $1,000 in milestone bonuses. And here's the kicker, guys. Here's the kicker. If you refer somebody, as they hit milestone bonuses, you're going to get 20% of what they hit. On their second level, you're going to get 10% of what they hit, what they make. Is that not exciting? There needs to be a reason why you're helping people hit ranks, and we have to reward you for that. And so at those early ranks, you start growing in income because you're getting 20% of what they're getting in their milestones and 10% on your level 2. That's the second part of the compensation plan. You're welcome, Bethany. You guys, what do you guys think of that? It's pretty crazy, right? And that's the early part of the compensation plan. The next thing we're going to move on to is the third way to earn, your INFINii pay. We have an INFINii pay now, right? But this INFINii pay is going to pay you on all the volume in your organizations, 10% to INFINii levels D. Of course, there's caps on different legs, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about those caps. But why is it that you would earn on a weaker leg and not earn on your strong leg where all your volume is? Why not let people earn on their entire organizations? Doesn't that just make sense to let people earn on everyone that's in their teams? Right? The next way to earn, guys, is your INFINii match. As you progress through the ranks, you're going to actually check match your people that you've brought into this business. You're going to check match them on what they earn in their INFINii pay. 5% at regional, 10% at national, 15% at global, 30% at director, all the way up to 100%. Check matching those folks that you bring in on what they make in their INFINii pay. What a crazy concept, right? But it gets better. I want you guys to, I mean, how easy was that? We just explained the entire compensation plan in what, 5 minutes? 4 minutes? Could you do that with any other company and go through and explain the compensation plan? Is this not 100,000 times better? Guys, I build companies online. I love it, and I love helping build in the network marketing spaces, but you've got to be able to get as many people as possible paid. Why make them balance left leg, right leg, and pay them on their bigger leg? Why not just pay them on their entire organizations as they build and give them a way to progress where they're earning more and more check matches? And when they help somebody hit global manager and earn $500, you pay the sponsor and you pay the sponsor to help ensure growth. This is what this compensation plan does, but it gets, guys, this gets better, okay? This gets better, all right? We've introduced something, and I'll come back to the slide so you guys can look at it, and we'll have some deep conversations about this on the partner side. This is what I was referring to when I posted on Facebook and said I think we need more webinars because we got to talk about this. We've got to get on and talk about this because check this out. We're introducing a holding tank into INFINii. Who here has worked in a holding tank? If you have, let me know. Because what a holding tank does for you is give you the ability to place people in your organizations in depth. When you see somebody building, if you have someone in your holding tank, you can go ahead and place that person and that volume in your organization. And you know what? They get paid for that volume that is placed in their organization. That counts for them in their INFINii pay. That counts for them to hit their milestone bonuses. Imagine when I have someone come in now and they start building and they start growing, and I say, wow, this is amazing. I want to go ahead and get some action underneath of them. I'm going to move someone out of my holding tank and let them run with this team that I'm building. And when I place them, it pops a milestone bonus. It pops them to global manager, creating them a $500 check, creating me a check as well, and my upline a check. When we went to experts in the compensation world, and we've hired some experts to look at this, external to what we're doing right now, they've never seen it. Like, this is crazy. This is going to change it. And we hear the words game changer all the time. Right? Game changer this, game changer that. It's cliche at this point. But this compensation plan has never been done. You're not going to find it out there. I mean, ridiculous. Very easy to do. Here's how you earn. 1, you get someone in, you make 25% of that. You start going up the ranks, you get a couple people in, you hit this manager rank, guess what? You get a $50 check. If you do that 3 times, you have 3 managers, you just hit regional manager. If you get 3 regional managers in your organization, you just hit national. If you get 3 nationals, you just hit global. That's how easy that is. And you can help them targeted by putting people into their downline. That's why I'm pretty darn excited, trying to keep my calm here, about what we're doing here, because this is going to change pretty much everything. So Hitesh, hop on out and calm me down. And real quick, guys, Norman, I love you, brother. What do you guys think of this compensation plan? Are you guys excited about this?
So far, because we haven't gone over some cool stuff yet.
It's just, love it, man. It's
all right. It's beautiful.
Okay, I'm gonna be quiet for a minute and let Hitesh talk.
That's great. Well, this is one of the rare things that I feel like was a good thing to come up with. So let me walk you guys through a couple of very interesting things here. So obviously the holding tank concept has existed before. Like Kevin said, he started by asking, have you guys ever had a holding tank before? And so clearly other companies have done a holding tank. What has not been done is an infinite depth holding tank. An infinite depth where when you help somebody, they actually earn more as well. So if I bring in Kevin and I want to help Kevin make an income, I can actually place volume under him, and this is volume that will help him rank advance. This is volume that he will earn money on, even though he did not directly sponsor it. Now, this is a kind of unique thing, because I want you to think about it for a second. And this is the thing that I always disliked about binaries and matrices in general, and why this is really appealing. So think of it as, right now you get volume in your binary. Your bigger leg, you don't really get paid on anyway, but none of that volume counts towards your rank advancement, none of that volume counts towards your actual income. So this changes that entirely. And when I help Kevin rank advance, by doing so, I get paid on it. And when I help him earn through the INFINii pay, I get paid on it because I get a check match. But what this also does is it changes the very nature of the BV requirement. So Kev, if you want to go to the next slide, please, very quick. I just want to show you guys something interesting. So compare the rank requirements in this comp plan with the one that we have right now. Okay. So first of all, you'll notice that the BV required is already dramatically lower, right? Currently, a manager needs 1,000 BV. Now a manager needs only 400, but also gets a milestone bonus, right? Gets a $50 milestone bonus at that point. Now, this is not only dramatically lower, but the nature of this business volume is completely different. This 400 BV includes business volume placed under you by somebody else. So I could put BV under Kevin, and that actually counts towards the manager rank. So you'll notice that manager, regional manager, national manager, these are much easier to hit. And you're welcome to compare side by side. You will find that these numbers are much lower than the current numbers, even though they still go up all the way to 10 million. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, and why this is so important for us to put out in this way, and why some of the other things were kept a little bit on the hold. Kev, are you okay if I talk a little bit about vendors and marketplace and all that stuff?
Talk away, talk away.
Okay. So here is why that was so critical, and why we were waiting to get through this major change first. Imagine that you guys have heard about this thing called INFINii Marketplace. Imagine that I referred a member, a vendor, into the INFINii Marketplace. Okay? The vendor will now also be going into the holding tank. I can actually take that vendor and place under Kevin. And every time that vendor's item sells in the marketplace, benefits Kevin, benefits me, benefits my upline, and so on and so forth. So now, in essence, everybody in the company is in some way, shape, or form benefiting from the vendors that are coming in and promoting. Earlier, there was this big thing that we went through many calculations and realized there was a problem, because if you referred a vendor who went into the lesser leg and into the bigger leg and whatnot, it would just be wasted. It would become useless as volume. So now you will actually be able to combine this whole concept, this new comp plan, combine that alongside of the vendor system with INFINii Marketplace, and actually earn business volume as people come in and they start selling items and so on the marketplace as well. So this thing just synergizes so well with our overall aim, which was to bring in the vendors into our marketplace, bring in digital products in our marketplace, and so on. That's been just something that we wanted to push out very quickly. So let me give you an example of maybe a digital product that you could do this with. Let's say, for example, that we had a digital product that we put out in INFINii Digital, which, by the way, we're about to put out the first product on there, actually, technically the fourth product that we're going to put out on INFINii Digital, and we're going to promote it in a big way. If anybody in your entire organization was to purchase that digital product, you would essentially see business volume generated from it. Even though they are purchasing something outside of INFINii, you are still seeing some business volume coming in from that. And this has a very beautiful side effect in all of this, which is what it does for Kevin, Jason, and I in what we can do for our members. So, Kev, I'm going to let you walk through a little bit of what we will be able to do with this.
Well, with placing vendors, first off, I want to clarify something, guys, real quick. I want to clarify something. When we talk about placing vendors, vendors are a huge source of volume, right? So a vendor comes in, and if they sell, you know, $1 million in volume, you're gonna part of that volume gets put into the compensation plan, right? So let's start from that point. What Hitesh is saying is that you can place those vendors strategically in your organizations to benefit entire lines of lineage inside of your organizations. So it's nothing more than you have a vendor come in, you know they're going to produce a lot of volume, and you can actually place them, and they're not just on an outside leg. But what this allows, what this whole compensation plan allows us to do, and I don't want to say too much, Hitesh. So are you talking about us and what we're planning on doing internally, Jason and I and you?
Yep. That's what I was referring to.
So you guys know that I've built out INFINii Network. Who here is on INFINii Network? Who here is using that platform and generating leads for your business? Okay. Would it not make sense, okay, if, and we're going to be talking about this a lot, look at all these people, and you guys are awesome. And are you guys having success with that? Just let me know. Let me know what your success is on there. So when we look at INFINii Network, I can help you guys more if I'm doing something, if I'm actually recruiting and building into INFINii. And what does that give me the ability to do if Kevin's recruiting into INFINii? Gives me the ability to place people as well, right, into your organizations. So we're looking at running massive campaigns from a company level to be able to drive entire teams and organizations and be able to place them strategically in the company as well, so that we can help people grow their businesses even more. So we're pretty excited about being able to do that. And that gives me the ability to do detailed follow-up the way that I really want to do, and pass that knowledge and pass on those results and pass on everything that we're doing there to you guys and say, look, here's exactly what I did to generate these signups. Here's exactly what I did to get 300 people to join INFINii this month. So it's going to really help educate the entire system and really get people in a place where they can recruit better. So we're pretty excited about being able to do that, and yeah, just very excited, because you guys, you know, whenever you look at a network marketing company or you look at a team that's recruiting, you have a leader of the pack, right? You have somebody who you're pacing, and I want to be that pace car for you guys, and I want to be able to help you guys get more people into your organizations and show you exactly where I placed an ad, what happened, what the results were, and how that affected and grew my organizations, aka your organizations. So we're pretty excited about this. So very excited about what we're doing.
Let's also make it very clear, guys. when we are talking about, let's say, Kevin and I doing promotions, we're talking about two people that have done now exceeding 50 million in sales. And we have tremendous resources at our disposal that, from the contacts we have and the lists that we have built and all sorts of stuff. And Kevin is a magician when it comes to pay-per-click stuff. You guys have seen that already. What this component lets us do is that from the top down, the entire structure of the company, it lets us help people when we see them making an effort. So we see somebody who comes in, and even if they're not the greatest recruiters in the world, but they've actually just brought in two people, which is all our goal has been, to build a structure where the average person can bring in just two people and actually have a realistic chance of making a decent income. We are able to help them. We from the top down are able to look at anybody who has just brought in two people, and we can say, you know what, that person right there is putting in an effort, they're doing their e-commerce business, we have this visibility towards them, let's go help them out. We have all of this traffic that we are running, we have all of this volume in our holding tank. We can now start placing it wherever we want in the entire structure of the company to help people wherever they deserve it. So this will allow us to be really proactive and actually do what we do best, which is drive traffic, build an entire system like this, and it really unshackles us, because now we can help out everybody who needs help when we see that they're making an effort. So expect a lot more interaction with Kevin and I, especially with Kevin from INFINii Network side. Expect a whole lot more of that happening, and expect, in some cases, being rewarded very extensively for when we see efforts being made in the downline. We often see, people come to us and say, I'm really putting an effort here. What can you do to help us? And we're kind of stuck because we have to say, well, check your upline and your upline's upline, and maybe if somebody's good there who can help you and so on. We don't need to do that anymore, because we can control the volume and we can move it around as we need to help out from our own efforts. So that's a very, very beautiful thing, and that's what I said. We ourselves felt a little shackled by the previous comp. Not only was it hard to explain, but it limited what we could do for people that were making an effort, and limited what we could do to get them to profits. And remember, I don't know if you guys have attended some of the business classes that we have done, but one of the first goals of a business is to become profitable. So if your first goal is to be profitable, the way you do so is make sure that you make more money than the money that you spend. So we can look down and say, hey, here is somebody who is a Prime member or a Surge member. We know what they're spending, we know what they're making, and they're making a genuine effort. Let's go help them. And here's how easy it is. Let's pop them up to manager, because that's going to give them a milestone bonus. It gets them to the profitability point. Now they're excited. Now they have a budget that they can use to actually market with, or to actually drive traffic with, or to expand their e-commerce business with. So all of this now actually complements our primary goal, our primary philosophy, and just is a beautiful thing all around. So that's what we are very excited about personally, that we'll be able to do these things and help out as needed. So go ahead, Kev, if you want to continue with what is the future, and we can show you guys how all of this comes together with other pieces of INFINii.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, so you guys have seen these things talked about a little bit. The INFINii Marketplace, INFINii Stores, INFINii Vendors, and INFINii Network. There are actually more pieces outside of this as well, like digital and so on. Maybe if you guys ask, if I get at least, let's say, 200 requests for it in this chat, maybe we'll show you something cool with INFINii Digital as well. But let's walk through Marketplace, Stores, Vendors, and Network first. So you all know that the primary goal, and you can see what the marketplace will look like right there in the first image. The purpose of the marketplace is where we take products from vendors that we have a relationship with, or vendors that were referred to us. We put all the products up there, and we allow people from around the world to purchase those products. Okay, so now you could have a Bulgarian vendor who comes in and says, I want to sell these items to people in Bulgaria only, and they can do that. It basically creates these mini Amazons or mini eBays in different countries. But for people, for our members, it's a huge thing, because now you can literally go into the marketplace, find the products at manufacturer or distributor prices, and go and sell them at profit on Amazon or eBay or wherever, and just pocket the profit. Or you can even buy them for self-consumption. That's fine as well. The beautiful thing here is, depending on if you're Prime, Surge, or Excel, you get even bigger discounts when you purchase from the marketplace. And every sale made in the marketplace also gets turned into business volume in the entire structure. So I refer Kevin, or Kevin happens to be in my organization, somewhere in my genealogy somewhere. He refers a vendor to the system, and all these other people, it has nothing to do with my genealogy or my recruitment, but all these other members are now drop shipping these items from the marketplace, from the vendor brought in by Kevin, and I'm going to start seeing some business volume generated in my genealogy from it. And this is a very simple way for us, in a very visual way, to track activity and reward activity across the entire system. And that's the beautiful thing about it. So this is just so much stronger for both the e-commerce side and the partner side, and it really expands us beyond this little world of being a network marketing company or an MLM company. It now turns into kind of a global force. Now the next question becomes, where do I sell these items, right? How do I sell these items if I am from Indonesia and I cannot sell on Amazon right now? So what you can do is create a store, and that's what INFINii Stores is. It's essentially creating a store like WooCommerce or Shopify, but you do it internally. You're able to grab the items from the marketplace, put them up on INFINii Stores, drive the traffic to your stores, and every time an item sells, again, business volume is generated that starts showing up in your genealogies. So now you're getting rewarded on the item being sold, you're getting rewarded on the item being purchased, and you are beginning to expand your entire system. And note what you're getting paid for. This is probably the single point that will change this entire industry over the next 10 years. What you're getting paid for is actual retail activity to end consumers that have nothing to do with the compensation plan of the company at all. And you're going to see this becoming a very big factor over the coming years, and some of you guys have probably seen already how the government is becoming more involved in making sure that companies have real retail sales and real retail sales volume, and not just basically pyramiding the system. So next comes the question from a vendor. A vendor comes in and says, I really like what you guys are doing. I would really like access to your 200,000 e-commerce sellers. How do I do so? And for that, we have a system built in INFINii vendors where they can come in, they can upload their items and so on, but they can also tie up with our warehousing and shipping systems. And basically, we just call this as fun. We call it the FBI, which is fulfilled by INFINii. And they can basically use a system like what the FBA system does, which is send their items to our warehousing. So a vendor from Hong Kong or a vendor from Vietnam or a vendor from anywhere, Korea, wherever, they can actually send items to our warehousing, put up an INFINii store, or put the items in the INFINii marketplace, and we take care of the fulfillment as well. So this is truly the first system of its kind, where on the e-commerce side, it does all of these things together, right? Takes care of all of these things at the same time. And hopefully at this point, your question is, how do I participate in this massive thing? How do I participate? How do I go ahead and target vendors and target marketplace things? How do I target stores to sell items on? How do I do PPC to get more sales on my INFINii store? How do I bring more people into my organization as a whole in INFINii? And that's what INFINii Network exists for, which Kevin has done a tremendous job already on lead generation, targeted traffic, and making sure that you're actually moving profitably through the entire process. So next slide, please, Kev.
Hold on one
Next
second.
slide,
My go-to is frozen up. Hold on one second. There you go. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Okay. So you can see a little bit of how this thing works. I think we just skipped through a bunch of slides, but that's okay. So the way this works is, this is an example. There are other examples as well. Maybe you can show more, but you can see there's a discount amount of 7% on this item for Excel user. And in this case, I'm actually the vendor who uploaded this item. You can see Hitesh 106. This was one of our first tests made. But essentially, you are able to go and list this item on Amazon. This is actually currently selling on Amazon, I believe, for 12 or maybe much more. But you can basically list this item and sell on Amazon, eBay, wherever, and when the item sells, you can drop ship it from the market. So you don't have to have inventory, you don't have to have the stock, you don't have to deal with the warehousing or anything like that. It essentially functions as your primary source of products. Keep going, Kev. Okay, this is another example. This is actually an item that has been selling pretty extensively, and once again, this is a direct relationship with the vendor themselves. Keep going, Kev. This is a good one. This is an item you can go and search on eBay right now, and you can actually find it on eBay, selling for $180 to $200, and it's available internally with us for $149. So once again, it's like a $20, $25 profit every time you sell this item, and again, simplifies the entire process for you. In the background, every time you're selling this item and purchasing it from the marketplace, somebody somewhere is generating some business volume, which is helping a ton of people, because now there's infinite depth to the whole thing. Continue again, keep going. I don't think there are any questions about the stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory for most people. And then let's maybe go through very quickly the system in the background of how it works for the vendor as well. Go ahead. So a vendor basically comes in, they choose to upload their products. Go to the next step, Kevin. And they will choose to, they can bulk upload items if they want, which is what some of our vendors have chosen to do, but many of them actually list some items individually as well, for those who have very limited SKUs. Keep going, Kevin. They select the category that they want to target, and continue, Kev, to the next one. That's the main one. And you will see this is where it starts getting very interesting for them. So this is why vendors are actually really liking the platform and why they're choosing to stay with INFINii instead of going to other places or even looking at other places, is this thing that we enforce, which is we are able to control what is the price that something is sold for on Amazon, eBay, and so on, because we know that we are the source of the product for our member. This MAP, which is minimum alternative pricing, is enforced by the vendor in our system. Okay, so this basically has domino effect across the board. For those of you who have worked with sourcing products, you already know what this is doing, so we don't have to go into too much detail about it. But meanwhile, you will see that the prices are different for Prime, Surge, and Excel members. So a Prime member is getting it for 14.5, Surge member is getting it for 14.2, Excel member is getting it for 13.9, right? So they actually have an even bigger profit margin built in. So this item may be something that's sold for $30 to $40 on the outside, maybe on Amazon and eBay, while internally you are able to purchase for $13 or $14. So it gives you pretty significant profit margins there. Meanwhile, you have this control on which places and which locations in the world do I want to target. So for those of you who have done global shipping with eBay or have been looking at selling in other marketplaces as well, this takes care of that. You can now select, and your vendors can select, what your targeted market is, and it basically creates these massive systems in each location. So you can have vendors and customers from these random locations around the world who are engaging in e-commerce, and somehow INFINii members are getting rewarded for it through the business volume generated. Keep going, Kev. And this just basically shows, I think, that we have all these shipping services and different things that we have integrated already. We can do it across the world. But before we continue, let me just ask quickly, anybody beginning to realize why this thing is so awesome and so beautiful? Glorious. Okay, so the simple question is, how do we get into Marketplace? How do we get our vendors into Marketplace? You will have noticed that we have this thing in your back office called the Marketplace. We've been collecting data of the vendors over here. We've actually started adding a lot of them in now. We've added, just today actually, we have added, if you give me a second, I can check my sheet. About 58,674 products. Okay, so not about, exactly 58,674 products have been added just today from here. So if you have a vendor to refer, you go to the click on the button in Marketplace, and go to the next slide, please, Kevin. And you can fill in the information there, and that will bring your vendor into our database as well, and then we will follow up with them when the time is right. We are actually going through a pretty detailed process at the moment, making sure that we have all of these vendors and all the products visible up there, and you can start purchasing from there. And you will actually be able to access all of these sites, your INFINii Stores account, your INFINii Market account. All of this is all accessed by your standard INFINii account. So your one single INFINii account is also going to be a login for Market, is also going to be a login for Stores. So if you're an active Prime member, you will be able to log into INFINii Market and purchase from there. If you are an active INFINii search member, you'll be able to get the search pricing automatically on the marketplace. So you don't actually have to worry about how do I get on there and how do I create an account. You will automatically be imported on there, and you will automatically have access to all the products on there if you are an active INFINii member. So essentially what ends up happening is, think of this, the left side as where you're selling and the right side as where you're sourcing from. So on the left side, you're selling items on eBay and you're sourcing from Amazon, or you could see it as you're selling items on INFINii Stores and sourcing them from INFINii Marketplace. And all of that is also generating business volume at the same time. So completely different concept in terms of how the actual business volume comes in, how the actual company runs. And we could throw in here the fact that products or services or systems or sites put up on INFINii Digital behave pretty much the same way as well. Next slide, please, Kev. Okay, and this is just showing you guys the INFINii app, which is ready, and we will be putting it into the Apple and Android marketplaces. Unfortunately, we don't have a Windows app yet, but that may come someday. And the basic functions of this app are to allow you to keep in touch with what's going on through the news section, the events that are coming up, to look at your account status. You can see, what's going on with your account overall, how many funds have come in, and all that stuff. And you can also use this to share the app and share with other people at the same time. So somebody can download the app, in which case they're actually cookied to you, if you will. And when they join INFINii, they end up in your organization as well. So this is showing you some of the examples of what the app actually looks like and how it works. But those are some of the things. Now, we've actually gone over time, but clearly we had too much to cover. We actually have a lot more to cover as well. But who would like to see something with INFINii Digital quick?
Oh boy, he's doing it. Oh boy.
I think we should do it. What do you think, Kev? I think we should.
You already said it. I mean, you have 1,000 yeses in the chat.
I didn't say you're showing it. I said we could show you something. So let me show you guys an example of a type of product service that may be coming out on INFINii Digital. Like we said, what happens is that you're able to, when you put up a product on INFINii Digital, or you refer somebody and they put up a product on INFINii Digital, whenever somebody purchases that product or service, that generates some business volume for you. But at the same time, it now, again, completes that entire ecosystem, completes the entire loop that we were talking about. So we actually have a product that is about to be released on INFINii Digital, and I'm going to show you guys, and I'm just doing some things very quickly to make sure that you guys don't go through and start looking up the URLs and stuff, but I don't think you would be able to with what I'm doing now. Okay, so here's a service / system that is being launched on INFINii Digital, and I won't go into any details because all those details will come to you very soon. But this is actually a service that does your trading stuff on autopilot, and you might remember some of this from before. But this actually completely does it on true autopilot, so it actually takes your trades for you and furnishes signals to you and so on. It has actually been running for a while in the background, but the builders and creators were waiting to get some things taken care of in the background. So now this is one of the products or services that we put out on INFINii Digital, and every time somebody purchases this, it will generate business volume in your entire organization as well. Is somebody kind of a little bit excited about the fact that you will now be able to not only put up products on INFINii Digital, but everything that is purchased will also turn around and generate this for you. So a beautiful thing that happens here is that it takes all the physical products out there, the digital products out there, the services out there, and puts them together in an ecosystem where you're able to generate business volume from it, but at the same time, it gives you something that you can share with other people as well. This particular product is unique because this product is controlled internally by us. We're actually going to be doubling the business volume that's generated. Instead of the 5% business volume that's usually generated, it's going to generate 10% instead, which means you will actually be seeing twice the business volume coming in to your organization just from this one thing as well. And this is going to be something that will be in a lot of demand, and we expect a lot of sales for this because this is something that it's just going to be great. So most of you can start to make guesses about what it actually is and what it actually does and how it actually works, but it's going to be coming out in a fairly big way, and we are expecting to see a few thousand people in here as well. So these are some of the things that are happening in the background with INFINii. We are very, very excited about the comp plan changes. We are I shouldn't even call it a comp plan change. I should really call it the resurgence of a good comp plan that actually generates profits very quickly in a very good, clean, easy to understand manner for our members. And since there is so much to go over with INFINii Digital and some of these other things, and we are already over time, we have already set up the next webinar where we're going to walk you guys through the specifics of how this is going to work, and you can actually activate it at that time, and you can start doing this yourself. So we're going to show you guys live how to do it yourself, so you guys can all start doing it at the same time. And we've already set up that webinar, and it is in your back office. So Kev, if you want to take the screen and maybe show them where it is in their back office.
Sure. And actually, if you guys just go into INFINii, log in, you'll see it right on dashboard right here. So if you go to upcoming, actually right here, corporate webinar, you have the update webinar that we're having next, 19 May at 8 p.m. CST. So you guys can go in there, register for that, and get on it. Yeah. So go register for that. You guys are going to love it. What we'll do is we'll go over a lot of the stuff that we saw here. You see, we didn't want to go this far into everything, but because we don't want to keep you here for 2 hours. We don't want to keep you here for an hour and a half. We want to get in, get you the information you need to get out. But you can see how passionate we are about this stuff and what we're doing with INFINii and everything that's going on around that's kind of circling the sphere of INFINii. So we're pretty excited about this stuff. I think you guys can tell because we have an entire compensation plan rolling out that is just something it's never been done before. And you know, I want to get into that, and I want to get into more on the vendor side. I want to get into more on the marketplace, and I want to get into everything that we have going on with you guys. So go register for that webinar, and as we start rolling out these, every time we get on a webinar for the next few weeks, when we hop on a webinar, we'll schedule the next one and have it ready to go right then and there. So that way you guys can know concrete when we're going to be talking about this again and when we're going to be rolling out dates and things of that nature. Because pretty much, you know, everyone's probably wondering, when is this happening, when is that happening, when is this happening? And we'll answer all the questions on the next webinar, and we'll start making a lot of things live as we get on these, as we leapfrog from webinar to webinar. Does that sound cool? Does that sound fair? Awesome. It sounds cool. And for those of you, there's one thing that we didn't go over that I would like to is the INFINii network and what we have going on there. So those of you who are in INFINii network, let's take a look at that. If you haven't seen this, who has never seen this or checked this out? Who's never seen INFINii network or been back there? Okay, so this is, INFINii network is designed to be, it's kind of where I live. And it gets into marketing. We do marketing training. We teach all this stuff. In fact, you know, we've got some back to the basic stuff, some Bing pay-per-click that we're doing in there, solo advertising, video at marketing. And I want to say something real quick. Those of you who have done your videos and have started making videos for INFINii. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. And oh, it says my screen's, is my screen frozen? Can you guys see INFINii Network? Okay.
Now we can. It was
Okay,
frozen,
beautiful.
but now we can.
Yeah, and I'll take a look at that for you, okay? So this is INFINii Network. We've got the training back there. This is what the front page looks like once you're inside the platform. You can go through and start looking at training like our Bing pay-per-click, our solo advertising training. I put a whole legacy suite of training back there. I think that's about 30 hours of content that I've done in the past. So you guys can really get the insight into where I've been and what I'm doing. And so you can see how I look at marketing, because from my standpoint, when I look at a new marketing strategy, I can kind of pick it apart. It takes me about 30 minutes, and I'm like, okay, this is probably the best way to do this. And when I do that, it's because I've already lived through a lot of mistakes, and you kind of get to watch me go make some mistakes in here. I think the first 3 days in this training, I spent a bunch of money and made nothing, right? And then I started having some big wins. So you get to see all that, which is really cool. But we also have video marketing that we're doing back here. That's I'm really proud of our INFINii members back there that are making videos, posting them on YouTube, and I had them do that for a very specific reason, because I'm going to start teaching YouTube pay-per-click advertising, and that's going to be huge. I think it's going to help a lot of people get into profit because it's so cheap and the leads are so quality. It's amazing. Thank you, Nicole. Who here is an INFINii Network and is having a blast in there? Who enjoys it? Who likes it? Who thinks it's worth it? Just want to see what we got here. Steve, JD, Roseman, beautiful. Chad, Priscilla, Norman, you're awesome, man. You're all over the place. Nicole, Clarence, Craig, beautiful. And there it goes. The list is going on. So pretty cool, guys. I really appreciate you guys who are back there. Let's keep building up on the marketing. And I'll show you one more thing before we close this out, and that is how to create actual sales funnels inside the system. Okay, and you're going to see more sales funnels back here as time goes by and we test. I don't put anything back here unless it's been proven and tested. So what you do back here is actually you create a campaign, you name it, you put a description on there, and then you pick your capture page. You just select which one you want. You pick your sales page, you pick your autoresponder. Yes, you can integrate Aweber. Yes, you can integrate GetResponse. You hit create a campaign, and boom, you've got your entire sales funnel right there. And then you can track what you do. You can track that you've had X amount of visitors turn into X amount of leads and the conversion rate, right? So this has been great. It's been wonderful, and I appreciate everyone who's in here doing this and running with this. And for those of you who, one of the biggest things you can do inside of any kind of marketing platform or in your own marketing is really run follow-up in a very specific manner. So we're going to get into on our next webinar back there, which I believe is on Monday. So we're going to get into some follow-up and how I do things, because I do things a lot differently. What I'll do is I'll have a follow-up video, a follow-up email attached to a video, the next follow-up email attached to a video. And so what I'm doing this weekend to prepare for that is I'm shooting videos. Okay, I'm shooting videos to help you guys to actually use in your follow-ups. The exact same video I would be using in my follow-ups. The things that I'm using in my follow-ups, you guys will have access to that. Okay, so when I send out an email and it has a click here to listen, watch the video, boom, you guys got that. So I've got a lot of things going on over there that I'm really excited about, because that is key. Follow-up is key, and building a relationship is key. And I need you guys to not only have what I'm doing, exactly what I'm doing, but also be able to do exactly what I'm doing. So it's been pretty awesome. So there we are.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Monday. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. Very important that we talk about some raw data, okay? Because numbers prove things beyond anything else. So far, INFINii network pages have garnered what, 1.3 million views already? Something ridiculous like that? It was over a million, I remember.
Yeah, for the INFINii network pages, for sure. It's kind of crazy, but it's really impressive. Not the system. The system's not. I mean, the system's great. The training's a blast, and I hope a lot of people are learning a lot of stuff. And if you're in here and you learned anything on the webinars that we do, on the Facebook paper, on the Bing pay-per-click, on the YouTube, if you've created your first video, if you've taken that action, if you've built like that, and Bethany says, "Oh my God, so much," you're awesome, Bethany. Keep going with that, because It's not just about the learning though. It's about the implementation. It's what you do with it. And it's my job to make sure that you're doing the right things with the training, that you're actually implementing it in a right way. And it's my job to make sure that you have the infrastructure and you have the follow-ups and the emails that are going to go ahead and convert those leads into sales. We've got a really great front end. I want to start working more on the back end and branding you and making sure people are joining into your business, because that's going to make all the difference in the world. And it's going to be huge. And what we'll see is a lot of people coming out of this program, coming out of INFINii Network, and with a skill set that they didn't have going into it, and being able to generate leads and generate sales. And that's kind of our motto, right? We always want people to come out of our training with something that is a huge skill set that they can go ahead and now apply to any market, to take the traffic stuff and now apply it to your INFINii stores business. You see where I'm going with that? So it all relates, and I'm really excited to see what you guys are doing with it, and I'm just insanely proud of the family members that we have in there, our INFINii family inside of INFINii Network, because you guys are awesome and you're taking action and you're making videos and you're doing all these things. So let's take that to the next level over the next few weeks, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm pretty excited.
Beautiful. I really like just listening to Kevin talk about INFINii Network especially, but usually just like listening to Kevin talk when he's talking to somebody else. Not as much when he's talking to me, but so really quickly, before we close this out, let's go over two things. You have the webinar next week on Thursday, okay, the 19th. There's a link in the back office. Please use that. There may be a typo there. If there is, that's fine. We'll take care of that. On the next webinar, we're going to go over a few things. So this was like an overview of, look at guys, look at everything that's happening. There's a lot of things moving and a lot of things happening that you may not have been aware of. But yeah, the webinar is next Thursday, not Wednesday. It's on Thursday, so it's the 19th. And then there is a very important thing, which is going through the specifics of some of these things and showing you guys how it actually works. So this next webinar is actually going to walk through these things specifically, and then you will be able to activate these things, work with these things. You can already actually, there are like 6 people who asked this, you can already go in the back office and activate INFINii Network. This is already live and running. You can already submit vendors for Marketplace, but the actual activation system, we're going to walk you guys through on the next webinar. We're going to walk you through another really cool thing called SFP. We're not going to go into details of that right now, but that's another big surprise. And then we have the specifics of how you're going to use an INFINii digital platform, and also the specifics of the comp plan and the comp plan rollout and how that whole thing is going to pan out, alongside a glorious thing that we have all been working on very feverishly in the background, and I could put Carly on and she would giggle about it extensively, and that is the INFINii tracking system. So you guys will get to see that, and you will particularly enjoy it, I think. So Kev, if you want to say goodbye and close it out, that would be great.
Yeah, I just want to hop out, yeah, and just say thank you guys for everything that you guys do inside of INFINii, for being here and for growing this. And you know, I hope that you guys have and can see the vision of where we're going and what we're doing. And I think that you can see that we're doing this stuff insanely quick. There's a lot of things we have going on right now, and it's amazing, the community that we have here. And so we're looking forward to bringing you guys everything that you need to build. And I think that that as we move through the next couple weeks and months and years down the road, just being here and growing this and being a part of this community and being part of this family will be one of the best things, best decisions you ever made. So get out there. Let's get out there. Let's take action. Marin, how you doing? Let's take action on what we're doing here, and we will make sure that we do everything we can to make sure you have a profitable business moving forward, not just now and not just a new fad, right? A compensation plan like this is designed to help you really build and reward the people that are building. And our products are designed to help get the average people into profit. That's why we have so many more customers than we do on the partner side. And so for the next few weeks, months, years, let's go out there and build this. Let's go out there and grow this. and make sure you guys are blessing each other and helping each other and staying positive with each other. And when you see negativity out there, get rid of it. Get it out of your lives. You don't need it. It's not even worth your time to look at it. Grow your business, stay strong, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next webinar. INFINii Network.